What's up, everybody? So, Captain America, Brave New World just happens to be the trailer playing behind me. I don't know if you can see the screen or hear me at this point, but yeah, so I'm right here with the Captain America shield that I got years ago that I brought with me for a few MCU movies at this point. I brought it for Endgame. No. For Endgame, I had the Captain America suit with Stormbreaker because evidently I had a feeling something like that was going to happen in the movie. And I brought this thing with me for Infinity War. And I'm pretty sure I also had the Infinity Gauntlet for Endgame. But I'm not alone today because I have a good friend with me today. The Falcon, or Captain America, or as I like to call him, Falcon America. This is a thing I bought years and years ago. Pretty sure I did an unboxing of it. It's somewhere on my channel. But yeah, so with the Captain America shield and with Captain America himself, there's very little doubt which movie I'm going to see today. Now, I realize this movie has been very turbulent since its announcement. There were some problems, some behind-the-scenes stuff. People weren't liking the movie, so they had to scrap the whole movie that they shot and reshoot an entire movie. There's a little bit of controversy with some of the characters in it, but you know what? None of that really matters at this point. The movie's here now, and I'm gonna watch it and hope for the best, hope for the good. Obviously, the MCU hasn't been the best these last couple of years. I definitely think Deadpool and Wolverine was a huge step in the right direction. Let's just hope they can keep this up with this Captain America movie, because I really do. I love the Captain America character from the comics, and I love the Captain America character from the MCU specifically. I think the movie version outshines the comic version. That's one of the rare occasions. And I loved the Falcon and Winter Soldier series on Disney Plus. I'm pretty sure that was the best MCU Disney Plus series that they've done. So fingers crossed, hoping for the best, and let's just watch the movie already because I can't wait to see what happens. So, America. So, Captain America, Brave New World. I swear, it is getting harder and harder to do these reviews with all the props I'm bringing. I mean, it was okay doing it with the Simba plush, a little bit harder with the Sonic the Hedgehog plush. Curiously, it was more difficult than probably it should have been with the Superman action figure. But I mean, this is impossible. I got the shield and I got Sam Wilson in the same hand, mind you, while still having to hold the phone. So yeah, that's difficult, but what do I think of the movie itself? Captain America. Let's just try to get a good shot for the thumbnail, because those are a dime a dozen. But yeah, so after all this time and all these setbacks and all these behind the scenes problems, the movie's finally out. And what do I think of it? It's good. I liked it. If I had a free hand right now, I'd give a thumbs up. But seeing as I can't, I'm just gonna use my words for it. Now look, it's not great. It's not... Definitely the golden days of the MCU are well and truly behind us. Obviously, I think, excluding Deadpool and Wolverine, the last great MCU movie is Shang-Chi. Unless, of course, I got my numbers mixed up and Spider-Man No Way Home came out after it. I'm not sure, but it's either No Way Home or Shang-Chi, whichever came last. But this movie is not as good as those movies. It's not as good as any of the other Captain America movies, and that's not a knock on this movie, because those movies are just incredible. And yes, I am one of those weirdos who actually loves the first Captain America movie. In fact, I'm that much of a weirdo. I think the first Captain America is better than the Winter Soldier, but not as good as Civil War. Don't get me wrong. But to me, the Captain America movies are Civil War, First Avenger, then Winter Soldier, and now this, Brave New World, which I will maintain, it's a good movie. Regarding all the problems, the problems can kind of melt away as soon as the movie starts. I wasn't sitting there trying to find all the problems, trying to figure out, okay, so which part was in the first movie that they shot, which part was the reshoots. I don't do that. I genuinely just went in there to have fun, and that's what I got. It's a really fun movie. It's good. It's a solid MCU movie. And you know what? At first, we gotten so used to the MCU movies being so great. Then they got, bad or, not so great. You forgot what it was like to have just a solid, a good MCU movie. Doesn't break the bank or anything. Doesn't, blow the doors off of anything. A good one, like Ant-Man 1 and Ant-Man 2. Or even, I would say, the first Iron Man. Or you know what? Even the Hulk movie, the Incredible Hulk movie, was good. It was solid. It wasn't the best, but it was good. This one's, I'd say, better than the Incredible Hulk movie. And there's a reason why I bring that up, because that movie, oddly enough, is very important to the plot of this movie. So yeah, the forgotten MCU movies, and there's two of them, the forgotten MCU movies are very, very relevant for this movie. Probably because they're just trying to get more eyes on them. Since they're all on Disney Plus now, you can watch them whenever. But yeah, so The Incredible Hulk from 2008 and The Eternals. Those are all and of course, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Those are two movies that are essential viewing for this movie and of course, the TV show. But yeah, so this movie just feels like a continuation of the TV show. It doesn't feel like a continuation of the Captain America story with Steve Rogers necessarily. It's a continuation of the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show, which in and of itself is a continuation of the Captain America story. It's a weird wibbly-wobbly thing that you have to navigate, but that's just the case. So yeah, obviously, Sam Wilson will never be Captain America. Or rather, will never be Steve Rogers. Probably shouldn't have said that. He's Captain America, or rather, he's a Captain America, but he's not the Captain America. He is not Steve Rogers, and it's brought up several times in the film, and I think the character knows that and embraces that. He's not Captain America. He's Sam Wilson. And you know what? That's not bad, because if you remember... Sorry, my glasses keep falling off, and I only got one hand. If you remember, in that Captain America movie where he shows up already as the Falcon. Like, he already has the military training, he's got the flight suit with the wings and everything. He's already a badass. He didn't need the Captain America mantle to be a badass. And that's what he does in this movie. And I like that. And obviously Giancarlo Esposito is in the movie. Doesn't have as big of a role as you might expect from an actor of that caliber. And it doesn't feel like he's coming back ever. Well, they kind of try to hint at that without spoiling too much. But yeah, he's great in every scene that he's in, because it's Giancarlo Esposito, and I can't believe I was actually close enough to say hi to him a couple of months ago. And obviously I didn't, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so Giancarlo Esposito is great in everything that he does. He's not in this movie as much as we would expect, as I mentioned, but every scene he's in, he steals the show. Whereas, obviously, Harrison Ford, look, there's no sugarcoating it. Obviously, Harrison Ford is replacing the role popularized by William Hurt in the previous movies. And I think he does the character justice. Now, bit of a trigger point for me, because recasting was the smartest decision they could have had with this character, because this character is essential to the plot of the movie. Whether or not they had this character in mind when they wrote this movie originally, or before William Hurt passed away, I don't know. I don't know if that was ever on their radar. but I'll say the movie kind of has to have this character in it for it to work, along with another character from the Incredible Hulk movie that you probably already know, but I'm not going to go too much into detail because it's a bit spoilery. But the trigger here is that I think recasting was what they should have done with the Black Panther role, and I understand why they didn't want to do it. I just think it would have served the movie way more if they recast Chadwick Boseman. As hard as it is, as difficult of a task as it is, as impossible of a task as it is, or was at the time, I think they should have recasted Chadwick Boseman in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. It would have elevated the movie so much more, just as it did for Harrison Ford in as Thunderbolt Ross in this movie. Now, this is all just to say that the character works. The recast works. They kind of take jabs at it a couple times throughout the movie, but overall, I think Harrison Ford was the right choice to take on the mantle. Now, these two characters, Agent Torres from the TV show, and of course, Ruth Batsaraf. Look, I'm just gonna say this. I like what they did with the casting of Shira Haas. I like what they did with the character. Obviously, this is a bit of a complicated issue that I'm not going to go into right now. I'm just saying I'm satisfied with what they did with this character, and I hope to see this character come back, for obvious reasons, of course. But overall, the character works in the movie. She's good. She's a nice addition to the Captain America franchise. She's a nice addition to the MCU. Let's leave it at that. Keep building upon it and try to ignore the background noises. Now, as far as Torres goes, I liked him in the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. He didn't stood out for me in that show. He didn't stood out for me in this movie necessarily. But overall, I liked him. I liked his relationship with Sam. I think he's got great chemistry with Anthony Mackie. But regarding the character, there is something that's... I can't go into spoilers too much, but there is something that's pretty much become an MCU staple, something that they've been doing since the beginning. And at this point, I kind of shouldn't be surprised that they did it again. I just think it did not work this time around. And I can't go into detail because it's spoilery, but I think this time the gimmick was played out. They should have gone a different direction with the storyline that they had for this character. I'll say that. But, sorry, the glasses again. But Isaiah Bradley. I love Carl Laemmle. I've been a fan of Carl Laemmle since the Justice League animated series. Like, all due respect to, dang it, I forgot his name, but the guy who played Martian Manhunter on Supergirl, and I think Phil Ford played him on Smallville. Carl Laemmle is the Martian Manhunter to me, and it's so great to finally see Carl Laemmle get his due, get his big screen respect that he deserves with such an amazing character. I loved Isaiah Bradley on the TV show, and it's so gratifying to see Carl Laemmle and hear his voice in this movie. And I'm not 100% on board with what they did to his character in the movie, but still, it was just satisfying enough to see this actor on the big screen. I think I went about everything regarding casting. Now look, story, it's all right. It's trying to continue the story that they're trying to build up in the MCU. That they're kind of building it up for the close. They're definitely setting up some big things in the future of the MCU. I'll say that. Action was great, but action sequences were few and far between. But when the action was around, they were amazing. A little shorter than you would expect from an MCU movie. final boss fights, if you can call it that, that every MCU movie does have. Again, great, but a little bit short. So I would have loved to have seen a little bit more action scenes. But that's fine. I mean, what we got was good enough, I think. Now, final point before my arm falls off because I can't do this anymore. The post-credit scene. How can I put this? If I were you, and this is just my recommendation, you can do whatever the hell you want. If I were you, I would not sit and wait for the post-credit scene at the end. And I can't believe I'm saying this about an MCU movie. I can't believe I'm saying this about a Captain America movie for all things. But it's one of the most underwhelming post-credit scenes in the MCU ever. Like, at least in recent years. Because you're sitting there expecting to get more out of this movie, to get a setup for the next few movies. And what you get is kind of stuff you already know. Like, I'm one of those weirdos that did not enjoy the post-credit scene at the end of Captain Marvel, with Captain Marvel showing up in modern day with the Avengers setting up Endgame, because of course he was gonna be there. What did you expect? In recent years, that post-credit scene has grown on me a bit, but this post-credit scene, I don't see it doing it. I don't think this post-credit scene is gonna grow on me the way that the Captain Marvel post-credit scene did, which kind of sucks. But if you're a completionist, sit and wait for the post-credit scene. My personal recommendation: you can just walk out of the theater and watch it later online. Someone's gonna leak it online. It's not a must-watch. I'll say that. And yes, there's only one, and it's after all the credits. There is no mid-credit scene. There's only a post-credit scene at the end. So I think I just about said anything I can say about this movie without spoiling. And yeah, I'm not ready to say that the MCU is back full throttle, but it's a step in the right direction. And I really hope this movie makes some of the money that they spent on it, because the checks at the end of the day are going to be pretty brutal for this movie, considering all the reshoots and all the problems that they had with it. Anywho, my arm is burning right now, so I'm going to close this out and see you on the next movie, which I believe is the Thunderbolts, unless there's something else not MCU related in between this movie and that one. So thank you for watching, and Captain America Brave New World. Goodbye. Hi there. Thank you for watching the video. And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends. I'll see you next time.